When I started this thing, all of the things that were going to lead to where I wanted to go were very, very difficult to start doing. They were very, very difficult to maintain doing. And that's why habits were so important to me. Which habit will you start today and why? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Free Hour. It's your boy Trevor Turner, and we are back with another video. We are back with another episode in our Free Hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree. If you're brand new to the channel, man, welcome to the channel. This is where we talk about things like productivity. This is where we talk about things like emotional intelligence. It's where we talk about things like mindfulness. This is where we talk about the things that we can do in the free hour or the free hours of our days to make ourselves better, to do better, to dream bigger, to achieve bigger, to do all of the things that we are trying to really get out of life, to not just survive, but to thrive. And we are back once again with an episode of our Productivity ABC series. This is where we talk about how to align our daily habits and align our daily work, align the things that we do with our purpose, with our overarching goals, with where we want to go in life, what it is that we really want to do at the end of the day. This is where we get into forward thinking. This is where we get into beyond trying to figure out where our next meal is coming from. This is where we get into beyond trying to figure out where our next check is coming from. This is where we get beyond those things and we start to have a further view into what it is that we're trying to do. And we've been talking about things like automation. We've been talking about things like time blocking. We've been talking about ways to take the things that we are integrating into our lives, into our free hours, into a more efficient way to kind of make our lives run a little bit more smoothly, run a little bit more efficiently, and run a little bit more productively. And this is where this next letter comes in, because productivity isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter. By developing habits aligned with your goals, you create consistent, high performance, and long-term success without the burnout. And the letter H, of course, stands for habits. Habits are something that is so huge for me because when I was trying to change my life, when I was trying to change the way that I thought, the way that I viewed things, my perspective, when I was trying to change the way that I even felt about myself, the way that I looked, the way that I approached everything, I knew that I had to start small, because looking at trying to change so much of my life, trying to change so many aspects of my life it was an overwhelming, it was a daunting task. Trying to succeed, trying to break into, kind of a new way of living and a new way of life, it seemed impossible. But I found out about the power of small habits. I found out about the power of doing things in a habitual manner, of changing my habits. Not only changing just my thoughts and my attitudes, but using my thoughts and my attitudes to change my behaviors, and using those new behaviors to create new habits that brought me a lot of different, better results. Have you ever wondered why some people consistently achieve their goals while others struggle to finish even basic tasks? It's like I just talked about. We can get overwhelmed by our tasks. Without the right habits, consistent productivity is nearly impossible. And this is especially true for the people who are trying to change, the people who are trying to get a new direction, the people who are trying to find a new trajectory, trying to find a new rhythm to live their life in. This is for people who are trying to get out of the rut. What happens is that even though we don't necessarily see everything that we do as habit, everything we do is a habit. Everything that the way that we approach things, the way that we look at things, we do those things in habitual manner. So if we want to change, if we want to get to the top of that mountain, we have to habitually do different things. We have to integrate new habits into our lives. We have to integrate better habits into our lives. We have to take a look at the habits we have now, and we have to figure out where it is that we need to change them, which ones do we need to get rid of altogether. So today we're going to explore the key habits of high-performing people. We're going to talk about how you can implement them, and the science behind why they work. So let's talk about the power of habits and productivity. Habits are the routines that we repeat daily, and productive habits become the automatic foundation for success. The benefits of habits are improved focus, reduced procrastination, long-term goal achievement becomes easier, better work-life balance, and reduced stress. Because what happens is that when we are able to change our habits, one of the things that you'll notice is that if you're on a very congested road, or if you're in a lot of traffic and you're trying to get to a different direction, or you're trying to make that turn, it's more difficult to turn. It's more difficult to escape this flow of traffic that you're already in than it is to just continue going with the flow. If you're in a ship, it's harder to change the direction of a ship than to just keep going straight. This is about changing our direction. It's about changing our trajectory. And once we've done this, it just becomes easier to do those things. A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. If you are able to habitually do things, you are able to more easily focus on something that you've done day in, day out, week in, week out. If you every Sunday, you get in front of this computer and do the things that you want to do for your own personal life, if you're trying to write a book, if you habitually on your weekends work on that book, it becomes easier to use your weekends to work on that book instead of trying to find time or steal time from other activities that you normally habitually do. Long-term goal achievement becomes easier because what happens is that you are able to break things down into more actionable steps. When you break those things down, break the long-term goals into your actionable steps, they become easier to achieve instead of trying to do everything at once. Form your habits towards your long-term goals. And then, of course, reduce stress and better work-life balance. When you establish the balance between habits that support your work and habits that support your goals and your dreams if they are outside of your work, that helps you with your work-life balance. Because what happens is that we have a lot of these so-called productive habits. We have a lot of these habits that take a lot of energy and take a lot out of us that we are willing to do, that we have established already, that we do day in and day out for somebody else on the work site, on the job site, at the workplace, in the office, wherever you work at, whatever the case. But when we come home, we don't have habits necessarily established or set up that take us to where we want to go. We have the habit of as soon as we get home, turn on the TV. We have the habit of as soon as we get home, we just start scrolling TikTok, get into our sweatpants, and just relax. We have the habit of neglecting our future goals. We have the habit of actively avoiding the things that we need to do to get to where we want to go. And of course, we talk about Charles Duhigg, the author of Power of Habit. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning reporter, expert on habit formation. He did a study that examined habit loops, which is cue, routine, reward, and their role in productivity. Effective habits significantly reduce decision fatigue, increasing mental clarity and efficiency over time. Look, when it comes to habits, if you have a habit, every Monday after work, you go and you hit chest. You don't have to decide what you're going to do every Monday after work. If you have a habit of as soon as you get done at the gym, you eat this certain type of healthy meal, you don't have to make the decision and put yourself into decision fatigue over what type of meal you're going to have, what type of sustenance you're going to put in your body. If you have the habit of after a healthy meal on Monday after the gym, that you reward yourself with some type of mentally stimulating activity, whether it be a book, whether it be a movie, whether it be whatever the case, those things will become solidified. Those things will become etched into your brain. It will be like a track that the neurons in your brain will run through more easily. And you will find it to where that you don't have the mental fatigue of trying to drag yourself into anything. If you've ever noticed that sometimes when you are telling yourself, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym. Hey, I'm gonna get into the gym. Hey, I'm gonna get on this writing thing that I've been neglecting. Hey, I'm gonna get on these videos that I wanna do. Hey, I'm gonna get on playing catch with my kid. I'm gonna get on doing all of these things, right, that I know that I want to do, that I know that I really need to do to get to where I want to go. And you will get so mentally exhausted before you've even gotten to the activity. It's because you haven't yet established the habit. When you establish a habit loop. When you form that habit, you will find it to where it's no longer a battle with yourself. It's no longer a mental fight. It's no longer an exercise in even willpower. It's just what you do. And that's the power of habits, because it's just what you do. You don't burn yourself out when it's just what you do. Now let's talk about the top 3 habits for high performance. Habit number 1, prioritize your most important tasks. It's called the MIT. Importance, it ensures that your highest impact tasks get done first. The night before, clearly identify the top priority for the next day. Complete it before anything else. Brian Tracy, author of Eat That Frog, internationally renowned productivity consultant. Individuals who consistently prioritize their biggest task first achieve higher productivity and lower stress. If you knock out that big thing at the beginning of the day, if you knock out that important thing, that stressful thing, that dreaded thing, that hard thing, if you knock it out, get it done, prioritize it, it's going to make your days go a little bit more easier. It's going to free you up to be able to do other things and put mental energy towards other things. It's going to free you up to be more efficient. And then also, one of the things that you can do is you can divide your long-term overarching things that you need to do at home into what is the most important thing that I need to do today to build what it is that I'm trying to do, to build my business that I'm trying to start. Okay, is it writing out the business plan? Is it contacting the consultant? Is it filling out grant forms? Is it doing LLC stuff? And you find out that most important thing and you just do it. You get to it and you knock it out. You eat that frog. Habit number 2, time blocking for deep work. It protects periods of uninterrupted time for high impact focused tasks. Schedule daily deep work blocks, 60 to 90 minutes without interruptions. Clearly label these in your calendar and communicate the boundaries. Dr. Cal Newport, the author of Deep Work, Georgetown University professor, productivity expert. People who practice time blocking show significantly improved task completion rates and quality of output compared to multitaskers. We talk about time blocking, well, I talk about time blocking a lot. Time blocking saves my ass a lot of the times, because if you leave it up to me, I'm gonna do the thing that's pressing in my mind. A lot of these other tasks ain't gonna get done. Time blocking automates my day. Time blocking is what allows me to get 5 or 6 different projects done in the same amount of mental energy, the same amount of time and space that I would have normally only gotten one, because I would have spent all this time deciding and debating what I'm going to do. I would have spent all this time like getting into the mode of doing something. I would have maybe been switching between different tasks that are not similar enough to each other, that they are not batched together in an efficient way. But when you schedule these deep work tasks, like, okay, I have the Second Chance Month documentary that I need to do, which I'm gonna talk about in another video. It's dope. I damn near made a movie. It's my first ever documentary. Very short one for Second Chance Month. But the thing is that I had to schedule for myself deep work sessions. Once the shooting was done, once all the B-roll was done, I needed to schedule myself deep work sessions to really dive in and get into the editing, get into the color correcting, and all of those things. And that is what actually allowed me to get it done in an even quicker time than I thought I was going to be able to do it. Habit number 3, regular review and adjustment. Keeps you aligned with goals and adapting to changes. Weekly reflection. Review accomplishments, identify obstacles, adjust priorities. And then monthly assessments. Evaluate progress on long-term goals. David Allen, creator of Getting Things Done, the method, internationally recognized productivity expert and consultant. Professionals who regularly reviewed and adjusted their approach saw greater long-term progress and reduced feelings of overwhelm. One of the things that we can do at the very beginning is we can realize that we are breaking things down into little steps. But something that happens is that we may, along the way, sometimes get lost in these steps. And that's why we need to review. We need to review, like, okay, did all my steps add up to where it is that I'm going? Did I do enough on each step? What is each step contributing? Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Where's the balance? What's going on with all of these things? Do them weekly, do them monthly. Analyze what steps that you're applying to your role. Analyze the activities that you're doing. Make sure that they're adding up to where you want to go. Now let's talk about avoiding common pitfalls. Barriers to maintaining high performance habits are overcommitment, which is taking on too much and burnout. Inconsistency, starting strong then losing momentum. Distractions, phone, social media, constant email checking. Overcommitment was a big problem for me, especially last semester. I took on way too many different activities. I took on way too many different organizations, way too many different clubs, way too many different leadership positions. And one of the things that I had to do with that is I had to remind myself of where it was that I was trying to go, which ones were adding to what I was trying to get to, which ones were not. I had to remind myself, and I had to kind of temperature check myself. What is contributing to my energy? What is draining my energy? I had to do a lot of review. So you need to do that with these overcommitments. And then the way that you avoid that in the future is take a pause before you say yes to things. Really analyze, really think. If you are dealing with somebody who is asking you to do something and they can't respect the fact that you might need a little bit of time to give them a response, and that might be the indicator that that's not something you want to do. Starting strong then losing momentum. Look, if you rely on willpower, if you rely on that discipline and motivation to carry you through all of the things that you were trying to do to change your life, to thrive instead of just survive, you are going to lose. You need to just habits, time blocking, efficiency, automation. You need to just get in the habit of putting in the amount of work that you can do that day that equates to 100% of your effort for that day. It's like, let's say some days I can write 5 pages in my book. Let's say some days I ain't got it in me to do that, but I can do 2 pages. I'm gonna do 2 pages because it's scheduled. It's just what I do. It's a habit. I have my cue, I have my routine, I have my reward. And it allows me to have consistency because this is just what I do. I don't have to argue with myself about it. But then also, I don't have to have these huge expectations on what it is that I'm going to bring to the table that day. I just have the expectation that I'm going to show up. Even if I'm at the gym, yeah, okay, I'm putting up 275 on the bench for reps normally, but I don't feel like 275 today. I know when I'm walking over there, I'm not doing 275. That doesn't mean I just go home. I'm consistent with it, even if I'm doing 185, even if I'm doing 225 for reps, whatever the case. It's consistency. And then, of course, distractions. Use reminders, use accountability tools, have alerts on your phone. Have focus modes, do not disturb, have accountability partners. And then when you're communicating those barriers, have people that are going to hold you accountable. Have people that are going to come by and say, hey, look, you told us that you didn't want to be bothered during this, time because you were working on something that's very important to you. And what's important to you is important to me. So I see you on the phone all the time. I'm not saying this because I want your attention. I'm not saying this because I feel like any type of way. But what I'm saying is this. You're not going to get anywhere by just doing that overthinking, over-researching, or scrolling, whatever it is that you're doing. We're not going to assume that you're just doing something negative. We're not going to assume that you're just wasting time. But I see you on the phone instead of putting the pen to the paper. I see you on the phone instead of recording the video. The camera app is not open. You got something else open, or you're writing in it, whatever the case. Maybe you're working on something, but it's time to execute. It's time to get to it. Let's talk about the practical guide to implementing some high-performance habits. Choose one habit to focus on immediately. Choose one habit to focus on immediately. Choose one habit that you want to add to your free hour. Choose one habit that you want to add to your life if you're not actually doing the full free hour practice. Choose one habit and commit to consistency for at least 21 days to establish that habit. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be tiny. It can be anything. It can be any level of effort, but just commit to that habit for 21 days in a row. If that's cardio, I don't give a fuck if you get on that treadmill for 5 minutes. Some days you might do 40. Some days you might hit the stairs for 15. Some days you might hit them stairs for 40. Some days you might do a couple of burpees. Some days you might go all out and do an hour and a half of burpees or whatever. Some days you might do this. Some days you might do that. But every day you're doing. Make sure every day you're doing 21 days and track your progress. Journals, apps, accountability partners, and then review weekly to evaluate the effectiveness of it. Habits are not built overnight, but one productive habit can transform your results, your career, your life. Which habit will you start today, and why? One of the things that I want to offer you encouragement on is I want to point out the fact that when I started this, the idea of the free hour, when I came up with this idea, it was something for me. It wasn't something that I was necessarily going to share with everybody else, but it was something I was going to implement in my own life. When I started this thing, I could do like a set of maybe 10 push-ups in a row. When I started this thing, I could maybe read a couple of pages out of a book before I would just get bored out of my fucking mind. When I started this thing, like, yeah, I love to write and everything, but like doing it every day was very difficult for me. When I started this thing, all of the things that were going to lead to where I wanted to go were very, very difficult to start doing. They were very, very difficult to maintain doing. And that's why habits were so important to me. That's why automating them were so important to me. That's why making these things automatic was so important to me. And that's why they helped me so much. Consistency, not intensity, is the key to this. All right? That's been habits. That's been productivity series and the ABCs of productivity. We talked about the top 3 habits. We talked about the power of habits and productivity. We talked about common pitfalls, practical guide for implementing some high performance habits in your life today over the next 21 days. If you like the video, leave me a comment on it. Let me know what habit that you're doing. Let me know what habit that you've been working on. Let me know how the free hour practice is going. Let me know anything that you might want to know that I didn't touch on or explain in depth enough. Or maybe even if there's another way that you know that worked really well for you that I didn't touch on, but that you think somebody else needs to hear, that might help someone else establish a habit in a better way. Let us know. Obviously, if you're new, I hope you subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you once again for watching. Like the video, share it with your friends. All right? Thank you once again for joining us. It's your boy Trevor Turner. That's the free hour. Deuces.